I am sure a lot of you have checked out Google Meet by now, but if not, I thought I would just do a short video about some things that I've heard about it. One thing I know is that you might have seen this icon for start a new meeting from mail, and you could do that with other teachers. That would be fine, and get a copy of a link to send people. But from what I've heard about security with Google Meet for students and teachers is for the teacher to launch me a different way. So I'm going to suggest just opening a new Chrome tab, going down to the waffle and getting Google Meet. If you don't see it there and you log into your drive, then you can click on the waffle here. Let me say I've got it. So if you click on this waffle, you should be able to scroll down and see Meet right here. And we also have the LCSC bookmarks, and we have our own Google Apps. And so if I click on that, it will show you everything in a dashboard view, and you can just scroll down until you see the Meet icon. So there's a couple of ways to do it. I'm just going to do it the way I normally would, which is right here. And so I'm going to click on Meet. And so this is the way that I've heard you should do it with students. So you go ahead and say that you want to join or start a meeting, and then enter the meeting code or nickname. So basically, I have tried to do this with capital letters and spaces, and it reverts everything to lowercase and no spaces. So a suggestion is just to use your last name and the period where you'll have that meeting. So you might want to make a code for first period and then a separate one for second and third, etc. And then you can actually use this every day, and students cannot get in until you have started the meeting. So I'm going to click continue, and it's going to load up some things for us here. The camera should be starting. I'm assuming since I'm doing a Loom, that's okay. And I'll go to the right here and I'll click join now. And I've not invited anyone. I'm not going to have a bunch of students. It's just going to be me here tonight, people. So here you can see the nickname. I can use this every day. That's not going to be a problem. If for whatever reason you do need to send somebody a link, you can copy this. You can add people typing in their name, but I'm not going to do that. So you'll notice right now, this is evening, so it's a little grainy. But if I click show everyone, then you'll start to, as people join your meeting, their names will start to show up over here on the right, which is nice. So they can also pretty much, if you've opened this up, they can start typing messages down here. They might say, I can't hear you, or I can't see you. So try to click on this icon or this one, it'll bring this up, and try to pay attention to some things on the side. So as far as students entering, this is a little different from Zoom. If they have the Logansport community email address, they're pretty much going to be able to get in from what I can tell. As far as I know, there's not a hostess waiting room for you to have and let them in. One thing you can click, you'll start to see this graphic over here with different choices. You can click Breakout Rooms, and you'll notice then you can start typing names, and it says to drag, and obviously I don't have any names to drag right now. Or you can shuffle, and then you can clean them up and change them, and then open the rooms. So that is similar to what Zoom had. You can have some polls. So I'm going to click start a poll just to show you what that looks like if you need to ask something. And what I would like to really see is what the difference is between this and just having the chat on. So I can go down here to the bottom and ask a question. I can type that question. How are you? And I can hit post. I got interrupted. I'm not sure where I left off, but I think I was saying that I don't know the difference between this and the chat, but you're welcome to check it out. So this is pretty much what you can get from this area. But if you go down here, I want you to notice just a couple of things. So if we go all the way to the left, there's that join in info, and we can look at our host controls. They're obviously, you can take a look at what you want, what you don't want. Maybe you don't want students to share their screen, so you're going to turn that off. So just kind of think about what you would like to have happening there. When students join, a lot of them are, if they've been doing remote classes, they click turn off camera, and then it just shows whatever profile picture they have placed there. And I think it's going to be up to you what you would like and what you ask your students to do. I don't believe Mrs. Haggerty thinks that students should have to be visible for everything except tests, but that's from what I remember back in August, so I could be wrong. And if you need to mute your microphone, let's say you're getting an incoming call or your dogs won't stop barking or something like that, you can turn off your microphone, and most students will turn theirs off, and you may have to ask them to turn them on if you ask them a question. So what's interesting is I was on a meet the other day and captions were automatically showing up. If you don't see that they're automatically showing up and you want students to be able to read what you are saying, then go ahead and turn them on. And then now you can see underneath my picture, it is just typing what it hears. It's not going to be perfect. I'm going to turn that off for now. So I'll go to present now in just a little bit, and I'm going to click these three dots. Now, this entire time that I've been talking to you, I have not been recording this meeting. And with Zoom, it automatically recorded. With Google Meet, as far as I can tell, it does not. So if you want to write yourself a sticky note or something to say record the meeting and do that right away, then that is probably going to help you at first. So if you have 30 students show up, but you can only see 16, one way you'll know how many you have is by this icon right here. But if you select change layout, it is automatically pretty much set to about, it was set the other day on tile, there it is, to 16. You can slide this over to increase it to 30 or whatever, but it is going to go back to 16 the next day or the next meet. So if you want just one student to be in the screen, you can click spotlight, but that may not change it for your viewers. They can also change their view, I'm sure. So you may not all be looking at the exact same thing. I'm going to click these three dots again, the skinny snowman, and you can see some different things to sort of play around with. And I'm going to click on settings for now because I was talking to someone the other day and this happened to come up. So you can see if your microphone's not working, maybe you have other mics that your computer is hooked up to that you can work with, or maybe even different speakers. And again, you can look at the host controls. I'm trying to click host controls. I swear when I do looms, certain things that I can normally click, it doesn't let me click, but that's okay. So I'm going to click this, and now what I'm going to do is I am going to open a jam. I'm going to start a new whiteboard, and then I'm going to click present now. So if I click present now, I'm going to do my entire screen. I'm going to click that whole thing and hit share. Give it just a second here. And then my Jamboard, give everything just a second to kind of switch gears here. My Jamboard went down here. So what I'm hoping is now that I'm presenting, students are going to see this online whiteboard. As always, my loom controls are over here, and here are all of the jam controls. So we'll see how well these work together. So if I click blue, then I have a blue pen, and if you have a touch screen, then you can just write on there and you can switch between pen and other things. You do have an eraser here, a selecting tool, you have some sticky notes, you can add images, you can add shapes, text boxes, and this is interesting. I have a laser, so I'm going to point to that and then it's going to go away. So if I am putting a bunch of things on here, then it's just a temporary way of pointing that out. So I'm going to go to background, and you can see that if you are maybe in math right now and needing to have some good old graph paper, you can have that. And you can even change to a different color if for whatever reason you feel like that works out better for you. And this time I'm going to click the green. I'm going to do a highlighter, and maybe you just like that look a little better. So you can, what I like about this is you can fill this up and then you can click the arrow and then get a brand new whiteboard. So this will actually, you can do all sorts of things with this. You can name it something. You can download it as a PDF if you think students will need to have access to it later. Save it as an image, remove it, etc. So those are really nice options. Just remember, this is something that is down here now in my, I was trying to hover over these two as one of my sort of Chrome options. So when you are ready to finish your meeting, what I would like for you to do is ask every student to go to the bottom center and leave the call before you leave, just to make sure everybody is out of there. And then you can go ahead and leave that call. And the next day, students can put in your code. Like for me, it's Grostefan 1, but they cannot start the meeting. They can't hang out with other students until I have gone back to me and typed in this code, Grostefan 1. And I'm going to go ahead and click stop sharing here. And so that is the security issue. So hopefully you'll start to learn all sorts of ins and outs and have fun with different things, and you and your students will find success during remote learning with Google Meet. Please let me know if you have any questions.